What's going on, guys? Back with another video. So we are about a couple hours away from the polls closing in Battle River Crowfoot. As you all know, Pierre Poilievre is headed to a big by-election win, getting himself back into Parliament, being a member of Parliament, getting a seat, and most importantly, maintaining his role as Conservative leader, getting into question period and holding the government accountable, which is his job. So we're going to get into my final prediction. I'll give you a hint. Pierre's going to win big. But before we do that, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help grow the channel, and I appreciate you guys so much for doing that for me. So, here we are. Battle River Crowfoot by-election prediction. So I have the Conservative, Pierre Poilievre, at 85%, the Independent, Bonnie Critchley, at 7%, Darcy, whatever his face's name is, for the Liberal Party, who cares, 4%, NDP, 2%, People's Party, 1%, Greens, 1%, and of course, there's about a million other candidates that I didn't even bother predicting, because who cares, and they shouldn't be there in the first place. But, there you have it. I have Pierre Poilievre dominating, winning slightly more than Damien Carrick, and the reason I have that, and I was skeptical of that at first, but I've been hearing over and over again that there's a very high turnout for this by-election, and usually you don't get that high of a turnout in by-elections. I know Bonnie Critchley has some popularity. That being said, this is a heavy Conservative riding, and if we're going to get a lot of turnout, I believe that's going to help Pierre Poilievre well overperform in the polls, although I have said that before. It didn't work out too well for me then. Hopefully, it's not going to end up that way the second time in a row. So I have him winning by an absolutely huge margin. I have no other candidates even breaking 10%, even though it is possible Critchley gets there. I know she's popular amongst the left and so-called independents, but I also think a lot of her 7% is going to come from people who are liberals, who, again, I think with the recent Air Canada scandal, hoopla, whatever you want to call it, and the fact that markcarney has not had a good summer, I think these polls are going to show that he's getting a little bit more unpopular than he was even in Alberta, as he already was unpopular in Alberta, rather. I think that's going to continue to increase. The NDP just, I can't remember the candidate's name, but she was the one who was telling people to be quiet and shushing them at the Battle River Crowfoot debate, where, Bonnie Critchley was telling Pierre Poilievre how angry and cranky he is, as she had a scowl on her face the whole time, and sounded crankier than ever, just like she got out of bed or something. People's, who cares, 1%, Greens, 1%, and you know what? I forgot to include Michael Harris in this, and I should have. I should have included the Libertarian Party. That's a mistake on my end, but let's say I don't think he's going to get that much. I do think that he's respected there. But you know what? We'll take a point away from the Liberals and one away from the NDP. They're going to do terrible, I think. Their candidate sucks. So we'll give him a couple percentage points, one coming from the Liberals, one coming from the NDP. Sorry about that. Totally forgot. Most other people weren't having him in their predictions. But as a Libertarian candidate, I think he's got some people who like him there, and I think he'll probably finish slightly higher than the PPCs and the Greens and the NDP, and right around with the Liberals. He's not that popular. He is a young man. He's very new, but he's also very smart, so he could grow popularity as well. I used to consider myself a libertarian, but the more I started to learn about politics, I realized I'm actually not. I'm actually more of a, center-left populist, believe it or not. For all of those of you who think that I'm some far right-wing conservative, I am not. I have never been. I am country first. I am Canadian people first. And anything that hurts the Canadian country or the Canadian people, I am very against. Don't like sending money overseas. I don't like the birth rate collapsing. I don't like the disappearing of the middle class. There's not enough housing. There's not enough jobs. There's just people just getting buried financially and with stress. And I would like a politician who wants to clean that up. And I think that out of all the politicians we have right now, wow, I'll learn how to talk one day. Out of all the politicians that we have right now, I think Pierre is by far the best guy to do it. I'm not saying I agree with him on everything. I don't. But I think he is the best guy for the job, and I think that Battle River Crowfoot is going to show that tonight with 85% support for the leader of the Conservative Party, Pierre Poilievre. So there you have it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I know you've dropped your opinions, your predictions before, but everyone who sees this video, let me know what your prediction is. You don't have to go through the whole parties like I did and kind of botch the Michael Harris thing, but you can just tell me, what do you think Pierre's going to get? You can tell me what you think Bonnie Critchley's going to get. Don't be shy. Leave your comments. And please, again, don't forget to like and subscribe because it really does help grow the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new one.